This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. So yesterday we discussed regarding the Power Query. So today we are going to start with a new topic, that is macro and VBA. So one by one we'll have a discussion on that. So do you have any query regarding last class?
This conference will now be recorded.
So fine. We'll start with a new concept, macro. So what is macro? Anybody know about a macro? So macro is nothing but where you can record any task on a Excel sheet. Okay. So you can record any task in a Excel sheet, and same task can be automatically within a second it is going to update. So that we call it as what? Macro. What is macro? Macro is nothing but recording any task in a Excel sheet, and whenever you want you can play it. That we call it as what? Excel. Sorry, macro. We call it as a macro. Fine, or can I explain it once? So macro is nothing but you can record any task in an Excel sheet and you can play whenever you want. So that we call it as macro. So we'll have a discussion on that. So you can see here, a macro is an action or a set of a action that you can run as many times you want. When you create a macro, you are recording your mouse click and keystrokes. After you create a macro, you can edit it to make a minor changes to the way it works. That we call it as a macro, where you can record the task in a Excel sheet, and whenever you want, how many times you want, okay, you can play it. That we call it as a macro. So we'll start with the practical. So I'll type up some names here. I'll take it as a Ravin Kumar and his age, and I'll go for one more thing, Sagar Patil and his age. So after that I'll go one more, some other names. Next, we'll go for. So, see here, I have some date here. So, before that, give me 1 minute. So, if you want to work in a PowerPoint, sorry, when you want to work in a macro, so you have to enable a one tab here that we call it as a developer tab. So, how to enable the developer tab? So, what you have to do? Go to the file. You have the option here, file. You have the option here, more. So, when you click on this more option, you have the option called as options here. When you click on this options, you have the option here, customize ribbon. When you click on this customize ribbon, you can see here you have the option here, developer. So I'll just click on this developer, click on this OK button. Any doubt till here?
No, ma'am. Where is develop?
Here, view developer.
I could
Sorry, I didn't get you.
in customize ribbon. Where is it?
Here, main tab is there, no? Customize the ribbon, developer is there, no?
Ah, yes, ma'am.
Just enable it, click on OK button. Fine. Chalo. Next. So I'll click on this developer. You have the option here, macro. On here you have the option called as record macro. So first you have to record these steps. After that, whenever you want, you can play it. So what I will do, I'll copy it. Fine. So what you have to do? First, I'll click on this record macro. So when you click on this record macro, you will get a one dialog box here. Record macro, you can give the name for this. So I'll give a name as a RP. Okay. You can give the unique shortcut key here. So I'm giving here Control R. Okay. So now store a macro in. So you have a three option here. When you want to apply this macro only for this workbook, then you can go for this workbook. When you want to apply for the new workbook, okay, so you can go for this. When you want to apply both old and new workbook, then you can go for the personal macro workbook. So I'm selecting a personal macro workbook because it has to apply to the previous, nothing but the existing workbook as well as upcoming the new workbook also. Excuse me. After that, when I click on this personal macro workbook, fine. So click on OK button. So when I click on this OK button, you can see here. So currently whatever I'm changing in any of the cells or the columns, it is going to record it. Fine. So what I will do, first I'll select this. I want it a name in a one column, surname in the another, and the age of their person is another column. So I'll just add it. name, surname, age. So I'll just select it. As we discussed for the last class, I'll go to the data tab, text to column, okay, delimited, next. So in between what thing I have a common thing is space. Okay, I'll just click on this next. I want it from started from the current cell. Click on this finish option. Now you can see your name, surname and age in this thing. So I'll select the whole thing. I'll make a center line. I'll change a font. I'll give the border for this. This one I'll highlight. I'll make a bold. I'll make a necessary changes in this. Excuse me. So after all these things, I just want to highlight the age uh, greater than or the less than 18. So I'll select my data. I'll click on this conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So I'll go for the greater than. I'll take it as sorry, instead of greater than, I'll take less than 18. So whatever color you want, you can give the any color for this. Click on OK button. Fine. Any doubt till here? Excuse
Ma'am, I've not taken any surname. I've just taken the name. Is that fine?
me. Anything is fine now. Just the procedure I want to explain it to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now listen to me. So whatever the steps has taken place, it recorded. So can you see here? You can go to your developer tab. You have the option called as stop recording. So I'll just click on the stop recording. So now what I will do, I'll open a new sheet here. I'll add a different names here like Tarun, Sudhir, 26, Pankaj, Chopra, 12, Arjun Singh, 29. I'll go some Manoj Kumar, 89. So what I will do instead of doing the step by step, so I'll select the data. After selecting this, click on this macro. Okay, you have the option here personal xlsb.rp. I'll just click on this run option. Can you see here? Everything is ready for you. Automatically it create the data for you. So this we call it as what? Macro. Okay, how many times you want, you can run the macro. Okay, so this is how we use the macro option. Now when I click on this file option, I'll click on the save option. I'll click on this browse and remember one thing. So I'll give as a macro. If I click on the save, whatever the macro will, it will not record because save as a type is Excel workbook. So you have to save a macro related data, Excel macro enabled workbook. You have to save your data in the when you want to record it. If you want to play it so many times, then you can go for this Excel macro enabled workbook. So just click on this, then click on save option. Don't save it in the Excel workbook because the macro, whatever the steps we have given, it it will not takes place when you use a after saving it in a Excel workbook. So whenever you work in a macro, Excel my macro enabled workbook, work with this. So click on this, click on save. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine then. I'll just close with this. Do you want to save? I want to save this. I'll click. The next one we are going to learn, that is VBA. So VBA is all about your programming language. Okay. VBA stand for Visual Basic Analysis. Excel VBM is a Microsoft programming language for office application such as Excel, Word, Access. Macros are what most people who write a VBA code use. Okay. So where with the help of some codes we are going to create some data. I'll just show with that. I have some fine. I have some data here. So I'll just click on this. So one user form will be there. So I'll type here CRM, okay, female, okay, veg, football. Can you see a transfer value to sheet? I'll just click on this. Can you see the changes in my table? Okay. So with the help of some codes, we are going to create this user form and you can enter only single data. So it is a small example where we are going to discuss today. Any doubt regarding what is VBA? VBA is a programming language. With the help of some codes, we are going to enter the data. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll click on this exit form. Now we'll work on this. I'll click on this. I don't want to save the data. So I'll open a Excel. We have a lot of steps. Okay, so one by one, I'm going to explain it to you.
Can we continue in the macro workbook itself?
Yeah. You can, because it is saved in the macro enabled book. No, continue the same one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it has a lot of steps. Some programming language will be there. So whenever you are okay using it properly, if you make a single mistake also, it will not show you the data. So I'll open a blank workbook. I'll continue with my new workbook now. So if you want, you can increase the size of it, your wish. So first thing what I will do, I'll go to this developer tab. We have some data here, like form controls are there, command is there, label is there. So all those things are there. So in a active X control, you have the option here, command button is there. I'll go a little bit slow. So already you have the developer tab. Just click on this insert. When you click on this insert, you have the option active X control. So here you have the option command button. So I'll just click on this command button. So after clicking the command button, I'll draw the command button here. I'll increase it. Done till here. So after this, I'll make one structure here, that is name, and I'll go for the gender. The another I'll go for the veg and non-veg. So these two things I'll take it as a food. So if you want, make a table of it. Done till here? Fine. I'll continue. So I'll click on this developer. Okay. So when I click on this developer, you have the option here Visual Basic, or you can use the shortcut key Alt plus F11. So I'll just click on this Visual Basic. When I click on this, we are entering into this coding part. So we are entering into a coding part. Now, so after this, you can see we'll get a VBA project. Okay, some VBA project, book one, project personal. So all these details will be there. So after this, what you have to do? So I want to insert one user form. So for that purpose, I'll just click on this insert a user form. Can you see here? So I'll just click on this user form. Okay. Now you can see a user form 1. Every information is there. So I'll keep my toolbox here. I'll increase this. Guys, you're working with me, or after this class
Working,
you'll go? Yeah.
working with you, ma'am.
Okay. So after this, don't write anything. One by one I'll show it to you. So I'll just click on the sheet 1. So because my sheet name is sheet 1 is that. Okay, if you want you can rename it. No issues regarding that. So I'll just click on this. Now I'll click on the sheet 1. Double click on this. Double click on sheet 1. So when you double click on this, you have the option here. You just click on this pop-up button. So I want to enter this data in a command button 1. Where is the command button 1? This is the command button 1. So, so instead of a general, I'll select here command button. Okay. Now I'll write a one code here. So what is the name of this? This is username form 1. So I'll take here user form 1 dot. When you click on this dot, you have the option here show. Nothing but whatever I'm entering in the user form, it has to show in the, when I click on this command button, it has to show that. So that is the code of this user form 1 dot show. Fine. Chalo. So after all those things, okay, I'll just I'll just click on this user form. So I'll just click on this user form. After that, if you want, you can close it. So when I click on this, you'll get it. I'll just close it now. Now you have this user form here. Now I'm going to create the pattern of it with the help of this toolbox. So here first I'll label the data. So you have the option here. Can you see a select project is there, label is there. So I want to give the label. Label is nothing but I want to give the label like this. Name, gender, food. So these are the labels. So I'll use here. I'll click on this label. I'll draw. Okay. So it is showing a label 1 for me. I'll click here. I'll remove this. So I'll take it as a NAME. I'll take it as a NAME. After this, you have this option here. If you want, you can change the font color is there, border color is there, back style is there, so back color is there. So whatever you want, you can use it here. I'm just changing the font style here. I'll just click on this font style. I'll take a Times New Roman. I'll make a bold. I'll increase the font as a 16. I'll click on OK button. Now I want to adjust with this border. So I'll click on this auto size option. You have the option here true. I'll just click on this true. Now my first label is ready. Fine.
Ma'am, after changing the font, what did you do?
Click on enter button. That's it. 1 minute. I'll just show it to you. I'll click on this. Okay. Here you have a OK button. No.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Click on this. That's it.
Ah, yes.
Second, after name, we want one like box, no text box where I can enter my name or the others' names or like that. So I'm using your text box. So if you want, wherever you want, you can insert it. So you have the option here on text box. ABC is there, no? Something ABI. So click on this text box. After that, draw it. After that, draw it. Fine. Next. So after all these things, again I want to give the label that is gender. So for that purpose, I'll take a label here. I'll draw it here. So instead of label 2, I'll take it as a gender. Now, first thing I'll change my font. I don't like this font, so I'll take this. I'll make a bold size. Okay. Now, I'll click on this auto size. True. Done till here. My second label is ready. If you want, we'll move a little bit here. Fine. Otherwise, this one I'll move it here. Yeah. Now, so we have a two options here: male, female. For option purpose, you have the option here. Option button is there. So you can see here. This is label. This one is a text box. This one is option button. So I'll just click on this option button. I'll draw the option button 1 here. So option button 1. Instead of option 1, I'll type it as a male. Okay. Again, same options are available for you. Go to this font. I'll make a Times New Roman. I don't want to make a bold it, so I'll keep it in instead of a 8. I'll take it as a 12. Click on OK button. After that, I'll just click on this auto size true. If you want copy paste, you can make a copy and paste it. Copy paste. So I'll keep it here. So I'll make a changes here. Instead of a male, I'll add here female. Do you have any
Ma'am,
query
what
till here?
is
Yes, ma?
auto color? What is auto color?
Which one?
You just told something, ma'am.
The auto size, ma. Auto size is nothing but it will take, if you increase the size of your font, it will take that much. Okay, that is auto size.
I'm not getting that option, ma'am.
Select this first.
Yes, ma'am.
You have the alphabetic. In that you have auto size pop up here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay, next. So after that I have a, what else I have? So food, veg and non-veg. Food is a label. So I'll go to this option. I'll draw it. I'll draw here. Okay. So here I'll remove it. So I'll take it as a food. So I'll go to this font. I'll go to the Times New Roman, bold, and I'll save it. So I'll go to this. True. Now you can see. Now, so after this, some people will eat veg and non-veg. Some people will eat only veg. So for that purpose, I'll take this check box. So I'll draw two check box. So I'll just click on this. I'll draw here. So in this check box,
Ma'am, my both male and female are selected. The dot, black dot.
no worries, ma. While entering the data, you can select only one. Okay, because I have to write the coding. It is just a form here. After this form, we have to write the coding. So in that, we'll select it. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
food is veg. So of course, I'll follow the same procedure. So I'll make it as a 12. Click on OK button. Now I'll click on this auto size true. You can select this. After selecting, copy it and paste it if you want. Now, so here I'll add something that non veg. I'll keep it a little bit left. Fine. So a small user form I created. Okay, because if you want to create more than that, we have to write a lot of codings. So I'll create it a small one. Now, so again we have to create a two commands here because I want to transfer it to a sheet. One command, the another one is exit form. So for that purpose, you have the option here, command button. So I'll just click on this command. I'll type at the end. So I'll remove this. I'll take it as a transfer transfer to sheet. So if you want, you can go for this. Fine. The one more thing is, if you want, you can copy and you can paste it. Instead of that, I'll just draw one more command. That is exit. So same thing, I'm going to follow these steps. Click on this. So your user form is ready. So after entering the user form, we are going to write the coding. Fine. Till, do you have any query? If you have any query, let me know. Let me know. I'll explain it once. Otherwise, we'll start writing the coding. Fine then. So my user form is ready here. So I'll just you do one thing. What you have to do after user form, double click on this transfer to sheet. Transfer to sheet. Double click on this. When you double click on this, you'll get this option where you can write the coding. Fine. Chalo. So already you have the option here. Private sub, all those things are there. So now we'll start writing my coding. So you can see here my data is in the sheet 1. Okay. So I'll type here worksheets. Okay, worksheets. Open the open the bracket with a double quotation. Type here sheet 1. With a double quotation, type here sheet 1. If you have your data in a sheet 2 or sheet 3, you have to type that one. I have my data in a sheet 1, so that is the reason I'm taking it as a sheet 1, guys. Remember that one. So after this, I'll use a full stop or the dot cells. I have to give the cells name. Cells, open the bracket. You can see here, first is third row, first column. Name is in the third row, first column. So I'm using here third row, okay, comma, first column. Third row, first column, close the bracket, dot. I'll give a one value equals to text box. We inserted a text box here, no, in a username. Text box 1, text box 1 dot. It must contain text because the name R is in the text format. So what is the first coding? Worksheet, sheet number 1. Worksheet, sheet number 1 dot cells. Okay, cells, third row, first column. Third row, first column, close the bracket, dot value must and should contain the text. Value equals to text box, because in a user form you can see here we have a text box here. Text box dot 1 dot text. Fine. Fine then. I'll just click on this, enter. So this is the first code. Second one, we have an option male or female. Using here if option button, because we inserted the option button. If the option button 1 dot, if the option button 1 dot value, if the option button 1 dot value equals to true, true, then what it has to display, if the option button 1 value equals to true, then worksheets, then worksheet, open the bracket, excuse me, sheet, close the quotation, close the bracket, dot cells, open the bracket. You can see here third row, second column, third row, second column, comma, dot value, dot value equals to male. So when you open the if condition, it should be end with end if. 1 minute, I made some mistake here. Worksheets, sheets, fine, sheet. Okay, I have to see here. When you make a mistake, it will not accept it. Okay, so enter. I'll end if. So whenever you open any command or any program, if you have to end with the end if. Any doubt regarding the second coding? If you make a single mistake also, so the data will not appear for you. So for that purpose, don't make any mistake. Next, I'll type here option if option button if option button 2. What is the option button 2? Female. If option button 2 dot value equals to true, then worksheet worksheets, open the bracket. So we have our data in a sheet 1. So I'll, with the double quotation, I'll take it as a sheet 1. I'll close the quotation, close the bracket. Okay, dot cells. Okay, I'll just close this. You can see here option, same thing, third row, second column. So I'll take the same thing, third row, second column. I'll close the bracket, dot value equals to female. Okay, so I open the if here, so I'll end with end if. Now, so the next thing we have the food, where we use check box. So I'll use a check box here. If check box 1 dot value equals to true, then worksheets, open the bracket. You have the with open the quotations, sheet 1, close the quotation, close the bracket, dot cells. I'll open the quotation. So third column, third row, third column, third row. I'll close the quotation. Fine. So after this, dot value equals to yes. Okay. So I'll just use the end if. So again, I'm using the checkbox 2 here. If checkbox 2 dot value equals to true, then worksheets, open the bracket, open the quotation, sheet 1, close the quotation, close the bracket, dot cells. So fourth, third row, fourth column. Fine. Third row, fourth column, close it, dot value e- equals to yes. So I'll end with and if. So I'll give her 2 minutes of time. So I will write all these codes. We have some other codes. Fine. Guys, got it or can I explain it once? If you have any query regarding any of the things, let me know. I'll explain it once. Fine then. So I'll just close this. After that, you have the option here exit. So exit command is there. So I'll just double click on this exit command. Now I'll write a command here, that is unload user form 1. Unload user form 1. So unload user form 1. Fine. So I'll just click on this. After all these things, I'll click on this file. You have the option here, close and return to Microsoft Excel. Close and return to Microsoft Excel. So I'll just click on this. So after all these things, now if I click on this, we don't get it. So we have to go for this design mode. When I click on this design mode, if I click on this command button, we'll get a user form. We'll get a user form. So I'll type here Radhesham, female. I'll just deselect this wedge. You have the option here, transfer to sheet. Sub or a function not defined. Okay. 1 minute, I'll made a mistake here. Instead of worksheet, close and return to Excel. I'll click on this. I'll go for Radhesham. I'll click on this female wedge.
Mom, when
I'll
I
click,
clicked on the command button one, I didn't get the user form one.
the thing is, just click on this design mode, ma.
It was already on that. Ah, got
Just
it.
off it. Okay.
Yes, mom. Yes, mom. Got it.
Then you can go for exit button. So where I showed with a simple example. Now I'll go to this file. I'll click on the save, browse, and remember one thing, save it in a micro Excel macro enabled workbook. Save it in a Excel macro enabled workbook. So I'll just click on this, click on save option. So if I close, when I open the data for you, so when I click on this, you will get this one. When you save it in a normal Excel, so you don't get all these options. So you have to, when you're working in a macro or a VBA, you have to save it in a macro enabled Excel workbook. You can go for CRM, female, wedge, transfer to sheet. Now you can see. So this is how we can use the VBA. So you work on this. If you have any query, let me know in the next class. So I'll just click on this exit. I close it. I don't want to make any changes. I'll click on this don't change. Fine. If you have any query, let me know. We'll have a discussion on that point. So I'll give only attendance to these people. Okay. So the next topic we are going to learn, that is data visualization. So what is this data visualization? So I'll just show with some example. So we'll have a discussion on that is dashboard. So I'll just click on this dashboard. So I have some data here. So graphically, I want to visualize my entire data. So I prepared one data here. You can see here. Here I have some data here. Date, salesman, item, company name, quantity, and the amount is there. So on the basis of this, I want to create a dashboard. Okay. So
Ma'am,
now you can,
could you send this data
yeah,
after
sure, Ma,
class?
I'll send it to you. You can see here, if I want to know the information about a RAM, when I click on this RAM, you can see the changes here. 49, 70, 17%, 34%, all this information are there. If I want to know about a Rohit, if I click on this Rohit, so you can see here, I want a Rohit sales in the first quarter. So I'll just click on this quarter 1, quarter 3, quarter 4. You can see the changes here. So by clicking a one button, if I want to graphically visualize my data or the information, we call it as a dashboard. What we call dashboard? Dashboard is all about your graphically visualization, your particular data or the large amount of a data. We call it as dashboard. You can see by clicking a one by one click, you can see the graphically data of a particular person. So I have created a one more here. Here you have a clear data. See here. See here, 42% of our RAMs are there. So when I want to know about a Vinod, so I'll just click on this Vinods. You can see here. So Vinod sales in the month of July. If I want a Vinod sales in the month of November, you can see. If I want to know September, June, Jan, you can see here. If you want quarterly basis, go for the quarters. You can see. So when you want to graphically prepare any data visualization, that we call it as a dashboard. Got it, or can I explain it once?
Got it, ma'am.
So I'll just share you the data. What all things I have to share it to you guys? I didn't remember. All are there with you except this one.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share it to you. Give me a 1 minute. So I'll just explain you the meaning of it. So you can see here what is dashboard. A dashboard is a visual represent of a key matrix that allow you to quickly view and analyze your data in a one place. Okay, so how we are using the pivot table or the pivot chart, same thing we are going to use a dashboard when you have a large amount of a data. By clicking a single button, if I want to graphically visualize my data or analyze my data, so in that time we are using the dashboard. Dashboard not only provide a consolidate data views but self-service business intelligence opportunity where users are able to filter the data to display just what what is important to them. So with the help of some pivot table, we are going to create a dashboard in the next class. Fine. So this is the last topic of your Excel. The leftover is review and view tab. So Monday we'll have a discussion on dashboard. Tuesday we'll have a review and view tab with the revision. So and Wednesday you have to take up your exam. Okay. So I think 50 question will be there. MCQ question will be there. I think it should be in the Google Forms. Of course, you know about the Google Forms. So MCQ will be there. So prepare for that. Okay. After that, Wednesday you have to give your exam. Fine. So Monday you have to submit me all the pending assignment till what we have discussed today, macro and VBA. And the person one who not give the assignment, okay,